And for others, I will tell you that we have started organic chemistry, Sanya, and please
Yes,
don't
sir.
apps.
I saw the video.
Acha, you saw the video. Okay.
Yeah. All.
So, so I have got the question. The question number 25 is, amongst the following compounds, identify which are insoluble, partially soluble, and highly soluble. Identify. We have to identify three terms. That is, either they are insoluble, or they are partially soluble, or they are what? Or they are completely soluble. That is soluble, and highly soluble. Okay, highly soluble. So insoluble, partially soluble, and highly soluble. In what? In water. In water. So the principle for solubility, the rule for solubility is what? The rule for solubility, can somebody remind me of the rules for solubility? There is one phrase about solubility. No? Okay, I'm writing something. Tell me. Yes, Fatima, you are right.
Like dissolves in like.
Yes, very good. Like dissolves like. Like dissolves. Like dissolves like. Okay. So like dissolves like. So what is this like here? What should be same? The intermolecular forces of attraction. The intermolecular forces of attraction. Okay. And what are the intermolecular forces of attraction? We know that some intermolecular forces of attraction are electrostatic interaction or ionic, the charge interaction ionic. Then we have hydrogen bonding. Okay. Then we have ion dipole. Ion dipole. Then we have dipole dipole. Then we have what? Then we have induced dipole. These all are from 11th standard, right? Induced dipole. Then we have dispersion forces or London forces. Okay. So these type of dipole, dipole, ion dipole, these all are in what? These all are in polar compounds.
Yeah.
And in solubility, we don't have any charged molecules. That is why we will not see induced dipole, in which there is one dipole, there is another dipole type of thing. So here this will come when we have polar and non-polar both systems, and this is completely non-polar. Okay, non-polar. And hydrogen bonding will come when we have hydrogen which is bonded to either fluorine, hydrogen bonded to nitrogen, or hydrogen bonded to oxygen. Ionic dipole, you can easily the electrostatic force of attraction, that is ionic interaction, you can easily identify, for example, ionic bond when it is present, NaCl, MgCl2. Okay, these type of. So what is the intermolecular force of attraction in water? What is the intermolecular force of attraction in water?
Hydrogen
Hydrogen
bonding.
bond. Water is attracted, and water is in liquid form because it has what? Because it has hydrogen bond. Okay. So the compounds which have been given, they will dissolve very easily in our water when they have hydrogen bonding. So let us look at phenol. Let us look at phenol. Okay. And see the extent of hydrogen bonding. Can you see? See, the complete H2O molecule has all of its three components involved in hydrogen bonding. As you can see here, for example, if I have something like this, then this is involved in hydrogen bonding, this is involved in hydrogen bonding, then this H will be also involved in hydrogen bonding with some other molecule of water, correct? So you can see that all three of the atoms in molecule is involved in hydrogen bonding. But now we have, for example, in the question we have phenol. The question we have phenol, which is like this. Okay, so as we can see that there is hydrogen bonding present in phenol. There can be hydrogen bonding present in phenol like this, and OH. But as we can see, the extent of hydrogen bonding is not very much. Phenol has how many atoms? 1, 2, 3, 6 from the 6 carbons, and each 6 of the carbons have hydrogens also. So this is C6H5OH. So I can say C6H6O. Okay, and in these compounds, 12 and 13 atoms in the molecule, only 2 atoms are involved in hydrogen bonding. So I will say that the extent of hydrogen bonding is very less. As you can see, only 2 atoms out of 13 atoms, right? Only 2 atoms out of 13 atoms. Just wait a second. Okay, so we have 2 out of 13. So the extent is not, that is why it will be, the phenol will be soluble, but not very much soluble. Hence, it will be partially soluble. Phenol is partially soluble. Okay. Next is toluene. Next is toluene. Toluene is what? Toluene is methyl benzene, which we have benzene and CH3. Okay. So, Ahmed, can you please comment on this? Which type of interaction will the toluene molecules have in between themselves?
It's a toluene.
This is toluene, methyl benzene. Methyl benzene's common name is
Hydro-
toluene. Yes.
So it will be carbon ionic bond.
Cl.
Okay. Sanya is saying something.
The chlorine.
No, I'm asking which type of intermolecular force of attraction. These are the intermolecular force of attraction, na?
Right.
Right? So what kind of intermolecular force of attraction will be present? See, this is made up of carbons only, okay? And if this is made up of carbons, it will not have any electronegativity difference, and hence it will be non-polar, okay? It is non-polar. So see, it is here in the series of intermolecular force of attraction, and hydrogen bonding is here, okay? So we can say that toluene is insoluble because it is non-polar and water is highly polar. It is highly polar, right? It is highly polar and this is non-polar. So they are not like, they are unlike each other. So it will be insoluble. Toluene. The next one is formic acid. The next one is formic acid. What is formic acid? Now, this is very important that you have to know the, you have to also know the structure also. Can somebody say, tell me what is the formula for formic acid? Does anyone know the formula for formic acid?
No, sir.
Mhm.
Okay. Next one, ethylene glycol. Can somebody say about that? Comment about that. Ethylene glycol we did in our class also. If you see the notes, you will see ethylene glycol.
C double bond. C H.
No, not C double. Okay, I'm giving you the formula.
CH.
Yes. Sanya was saying something.
CH3COOH.
Okay, your voice was not audible very much. Ethylene glycol is nothing but you have CH2, CH2. Both of them has OH. Okay, both of them has what? Both of them has OH. Now, as you can see, there are 4 atoms which are involved in hydrogen bonding, and here we have how much? 3, 3, 6. So 6 are not involved, 4 are involved. So it is, we can say the extent of hydrogen bonding is slightly more. It is quite high here in ethylene glycol. So for soluble molecule, I can say ethylene glycol is also soluble. Next, formic acid is nothing but it is an acid, formic, which means that it is just of 1 carbon, HCHCOOH. So this C double bond O and COH. So here we have this double bonded O, this oxygen and this hydrogen. All these will be involved in what? All these will be involved in hydrogen bonding. Hence, formic acid is also highly soluble. Formic acid is also highly soluble. Then we have what? Chloroform. Then we have chloroform. So in chloroform, we have CCl, Cl, Cl and H. And as we can see, this chloroform is what is, it is just polar. It is just polar. So it will come in the sequence of dipole-dipole interaction here in the sequence, but hydrogen bonding is still higher in the intermolecular force of attraction series. So it will be just partially soluble, not completely soluble. It will be between insoluble and partially soluble. Okay. Next one is pentanol. Pentanol. Pentanol is easy. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, Marian is here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, this is pentanol. So as we can see, only 2 molecules are involved in hydrogen bonding. The other 5 are not involved in hydrogen bonding. Okay, so this will be again what? This will be partially soluble. Partially soluble. Okay. Good afternoon, Mariam.
Good afternoon, sir. Sorry.
Did you try question number 25?
Sir,
And the
I'm
20
outside.
Are not now?
I
gave you as homework.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
You did?
Yeah.
Okay. Though all the 20 questions, did you have any problem in that?
No.
Okay, fine. So, what about others? You understood how to approach these type of problem now, solubility problems?
Yes, sir.
Yes, this is
Yes,
the thumb
sir.
rule. Then you identify which are polar, which are non-polar. First of all, you have to see what kind of interaction is it present in the solvent which you have been given. Here it was water. For example, if you would have been given non-polar solvent such as benzene, benzene is a solvent. So if benzene was given, then in benzene the highly solubles will be, for example, toluene. Okay, toluene will be highly soluble, and insoluble will be what? Insoluble. Insoluble will be something like water. Okay, something like NaCl. These all will not dissolve in benzene because it is what it is. This is non-polar, and these are what? These are highly polar. Okay. So moving on to our organic chemistry part. We ended with the electron displacement effect, the types of electron displacement effect. Okay. So the types of electron displacement effect, you wrote that table, this
Yes,
kind of
sir.
table, right? Okay, fine. Then I will start with the first one, which is inductive effect, Inductive effect. Okay. Now concentrate, listen very carefully. Inductive effect. What is inductive effect? It is, so let me start with an example first. CH3, CH2, 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 Cl. Okay. Now, which is the most electronegative element here? We have
Chlorine.
carbon, hydrogen, and chlorine. Which is the most
Chlorine.
electronegative? Chlorine is the most electronegative. So if it is electronegative, then what it will do? It will pull electrons towards itself. Okay, it will pull electron towards itself, and by the virtue of pulling the electrons towards its own atom, but towards chlorine is pulling the electrons, it will gain a delta negative charge. And since it is pulling from CH2, the CH2 will gain a delta positive. Okay, now since this is delta positive, it will again pull some electrons. See, wherever there is a positive charge, wherever there is a partial positive or complete positive charge, it will attract electrons, right? So since the CH2 has now what? A delta positive charge, it will attract the electron towards itself, but in less magnitude than the chlorine atom. And here it will gain what? And this CH2 will gain delta positive. It means this is small partial charge. This is also partial positive charge. This is very, very small positive charge. Okay, this is very small positive charge. Since by the virtue of this delta positive, what will happen? This CH2 will also pull some electrons. This CH2 will also pull some electron, but the magnitude will decrease slowly. This will be delta, delta, delta positive. This will be delta, 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 delta positive. Okay. I mean, these deltas are not very important. The most important atom here is what? These two atoms. These two atoms are most important. Here it is pulling the electrons from the CH2 bond. Okay. Now this is what? This is the first thing that I can see here is, there is the movement of a permanent movement of permanent polarization of. Why I'm saying permanent? Because until and unless Cl is removed, it will be there. And this particular molecule, which is 1, 2, 3, 4 carbon, that is chlorobutane, it will have chlorine until chlorobutane is present. So it is permanent polarization. Permanent polarization. It doesn't need anything else to get polarized. It is already polarized. Polarization of bond. Permanent polarization of bond via sigma bonds. Okay, via sigma bonds. Okay, permanent polarization of bonds via sigma bond. Due to what? Why it is happening? Due to electronegativity difference. Due to electronegativity difference. Okay, so this is one statement that should come in your mind. And whenever you have inductive effect, the key points are what? The key points are via sigma bond, permanent polarization, and due to electronegativity difference. Okay, these are the key terms in inductive effect, and I will write all these key terms in separate points also. The first point is permanent polarization of sigma bonds. The second part is what? More electronegative atom pulls electron towards itself. Next point is the magnitude of polarization decreases with increase in distance. With increase in distance. Okay, so which is the most polarized bond? This CH2Cl is most polarized. Then we have these two. If I number them 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, then 4, 5 bond is most polarized. Then we have 3, 4 bond, which is the next, and then we have 2, 3 bond, which is next polarized, and the 1, 2 bond is the least polarized. So the magnitude of the polarization decreases with increase in the distance from the electronegative atom. Distance from. I'm writing En. What is En? Electronegative atom. Distance from electronegative atom. Okay. Are you all clear about this inductive effect? Can you recognize inductive effect wherever you see? Yes, Ahmed, Mariam, Amalia, and Fatima, Sania.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Now write this down. Mariam, you said you are outside. You're going somewhere. Yes, Mariam. Mariam is writing in chat. So you went to buy books. Okay. You forgot about the lecture or what? Oh, okay, fine. I guess you got a bit late. You didn't anticipate that. Okay, fine. So your brother got admission in the next in 11th standard. Okay. Say congratulations to him. Okay. And raise your hand when you are done. Fatima is done. I guess Mariam will be the fastest today because she will just screenshot, I guess. And Ahmed, as usual, he will inform me by unmuting his mic or
Yes,
by raise of hand by unmuting his mic.
yes, sir.
Now, let us move to the two different types of inductive effect. Okay, two different types of inductive effect. The first one is known as plus I effect. It is known as plus I effect. What is plus I effect? Plus I effect is nothing but the groups which has the ability to donate, I should say, which has the ability to donate electrons via sigma bond towards carbon atom. Okay, towards carbon atom. And how to recognize it? The way to recognize the plus I effect is all elements or groups which have higher electronegativity. Oh, sorry, not higher electronegativity, lower electronegativity than hydrogen, not carbon, hydrogen. Oh. Just wait for a while, okay? Wait for a few minutes. There's something. Oh, it happens from here. Wait for 5 minutes. Don't go anywhere. Okay. That particular slide is gone, I guess. Yes, that particular slide is gone. Fine. Thank you for waiting. We were learning about plus I effect. Plus I effect. Okay, all the elements which have lower electron. Okay, fine. Ahmed has jotted down those points, so I will just give a text here. Let's see. Okay, fine. Have lower electronegativity than hydrogen. Okay, these are the 2 points that we did in the previous slide before the screen froze. Okay. Now, for example, what is the example for plus I effect? For example, you have this group CH3, and let me change the color. CH3 and Mg, or for Mg, and then we can say MgBr. Okay, because Mg has +2 charge. Mg should have +2 charge. For example, you have CH3 and Mg, which is more electronegative here. Carbon is obviously more electronegative. Okay, carbon is more electronegative because this Mg is what metal, and it has the tendency to lose electron. Okay, so here which will be pulling electrons? The CH3 will be pulling electrons. Okay, this will be CH3 will be pulling electrons. Similarly, if you have something like this, if you have something like this, carbon, CH3, CH3, and CH3, and this carbon has a positive charge. Now, since this carbon has a positive charge, what will happen? Carbon will pull electrons, and it will pull through what? It will pull through the sigma bonds, and these CH3 bonds, these are what? These will be showing plus I effect. Okay, this will be showing what? Plus I effect. Okay, so this is all about plus I effect. If you have noted this down, then it's okay. I can move on to minus I effect, or you can just keep it here. Let me know if you're done. Let me know if you're done. The next one, minus I, is important. Minus I effect. Okay, Ahmed is also done. Amalya, just waiting for Amalya. Okay, Amalya is also done. Next one is minus I effect. Next is minus I effect. In minus I effect, what will happen? Just the reverse of plus I effect. In this, we will have, what did we write for plus I? The groups which has ability to donate electrons via sigma bonds towards carbon atom, we will have which withdraws atom. Okay, the groups which has the ability to withdraw electrons from carbon atom, okay, and in this you have to learn the electronegativity series, all the electronegative series. If you learn the electronegativity series, then what will happen? Then you will learn how the minus I effect will work via sigma bond. Okay, electronegativity series. So first of all, you have fluorine, oxygen, nitrogen, chlorine, bromine, iodine, sulfur, carbon, phosphorus, and hydrogen. Okay, phosphorus and hydrogen. Okay. Now this is a bit easier for those who know Hindi. This is phone. Phone call. Phone call, bro. Now, up till here, it is fine for Amalya also. Now, let us see how much Bollywood knowledge she has. Now, this is what? Does somebody remember? Mariam and Ahmed. Do you remember this? No. Yes. Nothing. I guess no.
Ishq.
Yes.
Pyar. Pyar hai.
Okay. Okay, fine. And how much is Amalya comfortable with these three words? Mariam, have you taught any Hindi to her?
No.
No. That's sad.
Sir, can you pronounce it?
Okay, I can pronounce this. Phone call, bro. Ishq pyar hai. This is ISHK, ISHQ. This is pyar and this is hai. Okay. Now let me see if I can come up with some phone call, bro. I can say is. Okay. Next class for sure. Amalya, I will come up with the next words also, but in English. This is the electronegativity series. So whatever you see before carbon atom here, whatever you see before carbon atom has the tendency to
Lose
has a
electron.
tendency to pull electrons from the carbon atom. Okay, as we saw here, CH3Cl. So Cl will be pulling. Similarly, if I have CH3 OH, so what? OH will be pulling. And if we have CH3 NH2, then N will be pulling. Okay, or if I have any chlorine, bromine, or iodine, anything. And also remember CH3S, and after that you can have CH3 also. So here also what? CH3 towards H will be pulling, and if you have also CH3SH, this is called thiol. Okay, this is thioether. This is known as thiol. Okay, this will be pulling. These are just the introductory ideas. This will be coming very much in your course. That is why I'm giving you out. Okay, write this. Now we will see some questions here. Okay, write this down. We'll see some questions. Also remember the minus I effect. See, okay, first of all, remember, write this down, then I will tell you something about plus I and minus I in general.
So the last one is what, like
Thiol.
CH3SH, thiol. Okay.
Thiol, yeah. Excuse me. Okay, Ahmed has done. Waiting for Amalya and Sania. Okay, everyone is done. Now I'm asking a question. Is that is CH3 Cl, comma CH3 C, CH3 CH3 and plus and let us take for next example CH3 Cu, that is copper. Okay, and you are told identify which effect is going on, plus I or minus I. This one is 1, 2 and 3. Okay, now you all can use the chat and tell me
So what was the question?
Question is, which effect is taking place? Okay, Ahmed has answered. Let us see what others answer. Ahmed has answered this. Ahmed. Plus I, plus I, minus I. Amalya has said this is minus I. Fatima has Fatima has also answered. Fatima has raised hand also. Okay, no. Lowered, I
Yes, I
guess.
changed my answer for first one.
You want
It's
to change your
minus.
answer? It is
Yes,
minus
sir.
I. Okay, fine. It is minus I. Okay. Fatima has just said minus I for the first one. Sania has said minus I. This is Fatima. This is Sania. Minus, plus, minus. This is copper. Okay, this is copper. Okay, I'm waiting for others. Okay, Amalya has also answered, I guess. Whose answer is that? Minus, plus, plus. Okay, Ahmed is saying minus, plus, plus. Okay. Amalya is minus, plus, minus. Amalya is minus, plus, minus. Okay. Do you think it is a bit confusing? Because if I put an arrow here like this, so it is both minus I and plus I. Here also you can see both plus I and minus I, because this CS3 is giving electrons and this C plus is withdrawing electrons. Do you think it is like that? It is a bit confusing how to identify plus I and minus I. Is it clear? Now let me tell you how to check. First of all, you will see the carbon atom which is neutral. It is not a functional group. Okay. See what is not a functional group? The CS3. Alkanes is not a functional group. First of all, the first thing is alkane is the most primary organic molecule that you can have. So you will first of all identify that. For example, CS3. This is sp3. sp3 hybridized carbon atom. This is CS3, right? Alkyl group. You will identify alkyl group and see what is happening here. So here what is happening? Alkyl group is giving electrons. So this chlorine is showing what? This chlorine is showing minus I. Okay. Now we can see here what is happening with what is happening. What is this alkyl group doing here? What is this alkyl group? This alkyl group is doing. This is giving electron. This is plus I. Okay. And this carbon atom is receiving the electrons. What about this one? Here is also it is plus I. Plus I effect. Okay, this is plus I because copper is what? Copper is a metal. Copper is what? Copper is a metal, and hence we say copper is giving electrons. Copper is giving electrons. This here CS3 is what? Cl is taking electrons. These CS3s are what? Giving electrons, and here copper is giving electrons. So here it is plus, here it is plus, and this is minus. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Got it, everyone? Fine. Now questions will not come, but have a clear idea. Let people not confuse you somewhere else that where is plus I and where is minus I. Okay. Now, next, the application of this plus I and minus I is to identify the electrophilic and nucleophilic site, and also it will help you in breaking the bonds. It will help you in breaking the bonds. Okay, it will help you in breaking the bonds. So I'm giving you some questions. You have to use curved arrow. Now this curved arrow is very important. Curved arrow mechanism, we write mechanism. So the first thing is to break a bond. Na? First thing is to break a bond. Curved arrow to show the formation of reactive intermediates. Reactive intermediates. Mediates. Okay. Now I will do the first one for you. CS3 and I have iodine. So in this I can see iodine is more electronegative. So I will break the bond like this. Okay, let me use some other color. I will break the bond like this. So what does this notify? It notifies that this sigma bond is broken and it is the electrons of a sigma bonds. And as I have used two-headed arrow, this is two-headed arrow. What will happen? Both the electrons are moving towards what? The iodine. Both the electrons are moving towards iodine. Now this CS3 will gain a positive charge like this, and this iodine will have a negative charge. Also, you have to try to keep the lone pairs intact. There will be 3 lone pairs in iodine as of now when it is neutral. Now, when it is charged, it has gained 2 more electron pair. That is why this will be having now all the 8 as lone pair electrons. Okay. Did everyone understand what we have to do now? I will be giving you questions now. For example, you have
Can you
CS3.
explain that again?
Okay. In this, you have to just identify which is more electronegative, shift the electrons, that is from sigma bond, towards the more electronegative element. Okay, CSC and I, identify which is more electronegative, iodine, shift the electrons from sigma to I, and you will form what? This is a carbocation. Okay, this is what? This is just iron, iodide iron. Okay. Now you will do for CS3Cl. It will be similar, nothing very fancy. Okay, and CS3, let me take okay, fine. Let me take Cu only, copper. Okay, you have to be fast, nothing different, nothing difficult. Okay, I'm starting to move the arrows. I'm not making the products, I'm just starting to move the arrows. Okay, first tell me if you have written the questions or not, then I will start moving the arrows. Raise your hand if you have written down all the questions.
Okay, sir.
Okay, and I hope you are comfortable with this bond line notation. This is if I write like this means CS3, CH2, CS3. The terminal carbons are methyl group, and the middle carbon has this middle word. This is a what I can say. This is yes. This vertices. This implies carbon atoms, and the hydrogens are also implied in that only. It is hidden. The hydrogens are hidden. One line means a sigma bond. Only one bond, single bond. Two lines means double bond. This will imply that we have CH2, CH with double bond and CH3. Done. Oh my God. I mean, have you noted down the questions? Please let me know that. If you have noted down the question, please raise your hand.
Just a
Yes.
second.
Done. Okay, fine. So I'm starting to move the arrows.
No,
Just
wait. Just a second.
acha, okay, fine. Okay. Okay, do. Okay.
Yes, sir. Done.
Should I start?
Yes.
Okay, fine. So from CS3Cl, it will move like this. Here also it will move like this. Now let me make the products here. This will be CS3 positive. This will be what? CS3, C, CS3, and this is having a H and a positive charge. Now this will be having that is CS3, carbon, CS3 and CS3. Okay, 1, 2, 3 CS3s are there and a positive charge. Okay, these both are same picture. These both are same structures. Okay, now this will have also CS3 positive because this copper is less electronegative than carbon. It will move like this. The arrow will move like this. So if arrow moves like this will not CS3 positive. This will be CS3 negative plus Cu positive. And here also CS3. Okay, now I will make like this. CS3 CH2 positive. Okay, this will be positive, and this will, oh sorry, why I'm writing positive when I have to write negative. This will be CH3 CH CH3, and this will be negative here, and this will be CH3 CH3 CH3. This is also carbon negative. Okay, now, okay, did everyone got the similar answer? Did you move the arrow correctly, or did you have any
Yes.
difficulties? Yes,
Yes, sir.
Ahmed. What, Mariam is saying something?
Sir, I didn't understand. I reached home now.
So you reached home now. Okay, can you please unmute your mic?
Yes.
Okay. Now, first of all, see this in CS3 and iodine, which is more electronegative?
Iodine.
Iodine. So if I break the bond, what is most probable? The iodine will be taking all the electrons.
Yes, sir.
So that is what is happening. So we just showed the movement of electron from sigma bond to iodine via this curved arrow with two heads, and we formed if CS3 is now not having the sigma bond, it is losing electrons, so it will gain a positive charge, and the iodine is gaining electrons, that is, it is gaining negatively charged electrons, hence it will get a negative charge. Similarly
Okay.
here, now you got it.
So here, why we did not write about chlorine?
I mean, I can write here, but it is redundant information. Okay, because chlorine is not changing anywhere. Na? This iodine, chlorine, these are same. Similarly for Cu plus, I can write Cu plus. You will not be given questions like this. This is, I'm trying to make you understand one point, that this is how bonds break. Now, see, here we are forming what? Here we are forming all carbocations. These are what? This is a carbon which is having a positive charge. These are all carbocations. So let us see these carbocations which we form. These all carbocations. Okay. So we have formed CS3 plus. Similarly, we can form what? CS3, CH2 plus. We can form CS3, CH, CS3, and positive charge here. Okay. CS3, C, CS3, CS3, and positive charge here. Okay. We can form all these carbocations. Correct. This is what? This is methyl carbocation. This is known as methyl carbocation. Methyl carbocation. And this, see, since this carbocation is adjacent to one carbon, it has one alpha carbon here. This is what? Alpha carbon. The carbon which is joined to functional group, this cation is functional group. This carbon here, this is known as alpha carbon. This has two alpha carbons. Now this has three alpha carbons. Correct? Okay, now this is known as 1 degree carbocation because it has 1 alpha carbon, 1 degree carbocation, or we can also say that this is primary carbocation. This is 2 degree, or secondary. This is 3 degree, or tertiary. Okay, till now this is just information. This is terminology that you have to understand. This is methyl carbocation, 1 degree, 2 degree, and 3 degree. Just remember it like this. 1 alpha carbon. Here there are 2 alpha carbon. What is alpha carbon? The carbon which is directly joined to the functional group. What is the functional group here? This is cation, because as we can see, what is the last term here? Carbo, and this is cation. So cation is a functional group. Now, which is more stable here? Which is the most stable? What do you think? 1, 2,
CH3
or 3? Which
1
one?
1.
1
I'm writing 1, 2, 3, 4. You are saying 1 is most stable.
yes sir.
How it is most stable? I mean, how do you define stability? See, if you are determining stability, see, stability is, what is more stable, neutral or charged? Which is
Neutral.
most stable? Neutral is more stable, na? Okay, fine. So I can write stability is inversely proportional to charge. Okay, and more better word would be, if you remember the 11th standard class about the first principle, inversely proportional to charge density. Remember that?
Yes, sir.
Ahmed and Mariam. Okay, stability is inversely proportional to charge density. So what do you think? Where is the most dense charge density here? The charge is dense where? In CH3 positive. Why? Because this only carbon is handling this positive charge. But as we go down from 1 degree, 2 degree, 3 degree, what is happening? This CH3 will donate some electrons. So the charge will come down. Here, 2 CH3s are donating electrons, so charge will come down a bit more. And this CH3, there are 3 alkyl groups which are donating electrons, so the charge will come down more and more. Okay, so I can say that the 3 degree is more stable, then the 2 degree, and then the 1 degree. Did you understand?
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
Got it? Okay. Now, what is the consequence of this? What is the consequence of this? The question that can be asked is, which of the following reactions happens the fastest? Okay. If I say, for example, number 1 is CH3Cl, and I break the bond. Second is Cl, and the breaking of bond is happening like this. Third is Cl, like this. Fourth is Cl, and like this. So here I am getting what? Methyl carbocation. Here I am getting what? 1 degree, 2 degree, and here I am getting 3 degree. Okay. So out of these reactions, I mean, you understand these reactions that I have written in just a very informal and a casual way. These are the same reaction that we did here. Okay. So I'm just writing here like this. You understand this term, 1 degree methyl, why
Yes.
we are forming. Okay, fine. Very good. Thank you very much. Now, which of the reaction will be fastest out of these 4? Which will be fastest? The fourth one will be fastest. Why? Because 3 degree is most stable. So it can easily get converted and the bond can easily break. Okay. If we relatively compare, then 4 degree, then the fourth reaction is faster than third reaction. Then we have second, and then we have the first reaction, which is the slowest one. Okay, you got this?
Yes sir.
Okay, fine, very much. Thank you very much. Now, if I see the next one, that is, we have carbon ion, right? Here we have what? Here we have carbon ions. These are CH3 negatives. So stability of carbon ion. Stability of carbon ion, how we will determine? We have CH3 negative. Okay, then we have what? CH3, CH2 negative. Then we have CH3, CH, CH3 negative. And after that, we have CH3, C, CH3 and CH3 negative. Now you tell me which one will be most stable. See the charge density, how the electrons are moving, where the electrons are going, if the charge density is increasing or decreasing. See that and tell me.
One
This is
will
what
be more stable.
1, 2, 3, and 4. Yes, Ahmed is saying one is most stable.
Yes, sir.
Okay, and then we go like this. Okay, I hope the others understand also, because the CS3 is having nothing. Okay, then we move on. This is no effect is happening here. Here what is happening? The CS3 will be giving electrons. This CS3 will be giving more electrons, so the charge density will be increasing. Here charge density will be increasing further on, and here at last the charge density will increasing more so. Okay, so since the charge density is increasing, what is happening here? The stability is decreasing. Okay, so this one will be most stable and the next one will be least stable. Similarly, we can write the rate of reaction also for the formation of carbon ion, Okay, now the next important point is electronegativity of alkane, alkyne, alkene I should write first, alkene and alkynes. Okay, or I should say sp3, sp2 and sp carbons. Let us see, determine what is sp3 carbon. So if I have carbon like this, sp3, it has s and p3. So what is the percentage s character here? Percentage s character is equal to, there are how many orbitals? There are 1, 2, 3, 4, and out of 4 there is 1 s. So 1 by 4, which is equal to how much? 25%. Okay, similarly this is sp3. Now if I want to calculate for sp2, percentage s character is 33.33, and similarly for sp, that is carbon. Let me write it like this, understand better. And similar, this is sp2 and this one is carbon. This is sp, this will be 50%. Okay, you all, I hope you all are what should I say, you can identify these terms, sp3, sp2 and sp. Okay, now in this we have 25%, in this we have 33%, and in this we have 50% s character. And since we know the s orbital is nearest to the nucleus, and we know that nucleus is positively charged. So if the s character increase in s percentage leads to increase in what? Leads to increase in electronegativity. Why? Because as we can see that if s orbital is nearest to the nucleus, and if the character of s increases, that particular bond is near to the nucleus, and nucleus is positively charged. So what will happen? It will pull electron towards itself in more magnitude. So I can say what will be the order? S. Oops, I just reversed the order. Let me write the order here. sp is most electronegative, then we have sp2, then we have sp3. The first question is, you have to ask how to determine that, which has the most s character. The percentage s character, if it increases, then the electronegativity also increases. Okay, so you have to write from this slide, I guess. Did you all understand about inductive effect, how it happens and how it determines the reactivity, etc.?
Yes, yes.
Okay, fine. You're copying this one, then copy this. Let me know by raising your hand. And in between, when you are copying, if you have any question, please ask me. Or if there is something which I have written mistakenly, I have written plus for minus or minus for plus, please let me know. Let me check also. I don't think there is any mistake in this slide. I have not done anything here. No, it's fine. Mariam, where you are in the school? Haloalkanes and haloarenes?
I don't know. It's been long since I went to class.
Yes, haloalkenes and haloarenes.
Okay, what they are teaching in haloalkanes and haloarenes right now? Preparation is done. Yes,
We was doing some reaction.
reaction. SN1, SN2, does this ring any bell? Nucleophilic
No, sir.
substitution. You are the not doing class, Mariam. I am asking Fatima and Sanya. They
No,
are
we
doing
did not
class.
have class.
We also don't have classes.
Acha, okay.
We didn't have class for the last 2 weeks, I guess.
Oh, one
Okay,
thing.
okay. You are
Because the
not having.
practicals are going on.
Okay,
The
okay. Yeah, Mariam said was I am not going to class. I thought classes are happening and Mariam is just absent in those classes. I get it now,
Some
Mariam.
class I sleep because only one period. Then why should I wake up?
Okay, fine. You see. Okay, I guess then you are must be in preparation only. Preparation of haloalkane haloarenes. And also remember this particular slide, the use of curved arrow, okay, and the rate of reaction that is in the next slide. Now this will, as it is, it will come as questions in the next chapter. You will see same type, same question. Which of the following, which of the write the rate of reaction, write the order of rate of reaction for the following, which can be found most easily. Sanya is done. I'm waiting for others.
Sir, the third
Ahmed will be
one.
done, I guess.
So
Yes,
done.
Mariam?
Then the third one, where is the arrow?
Where will be the arrow? You tell me. I mean, you should know it is not the time to spoon feed. See, you can see anything similar, na? Apply that. Where? Tell me from where to where will be the arrow? Yes, Mariam.
I don't know, left to right.
Are? See here what is happening. The first one, where is the
All
arrow?
are CH3. So how? I mean,
Okay,
from
first of all,
where? To
okay.
2, 3 are
Now tell
there.
me, iodine is bonded to which atom? It is bonded to hydrogen. Is iodine bonded to hydrogen?
no, carbon.
Carbon. Okay, fine. Now here it is chlorine is also bonded to
Carbon.
carbon. Now here chlorine is bonded to which carbon atom?
The middle one.
The middle one. That is the CH carbon atom, correct?
Yeah. Yeah.
Now what about here? The chlorine is bonded to which carbon atom?
The same middle one.
C1,
Which
C
is
carbon. Identify it like this, C carbon atom. Okay.
okay. C
So,
carbon.
है C carbon atom. So it will be moving like this now. Chlorine will be taking the electrons from where? The only one bond is with chlorine. That is this bond, like
Okay.
this. And there is a pattern here. You can see that pattern.
Yeah. Now I get.
Okay. Wow. I mean, now you did. It is written in the slide, so obviously you will see that.
Yeah, but I was not
I think
clear.
the pattern is like when you see the unseeable things. I mean, organic chemistry it is very much based on patterns. Okay, you just practice. Okay, how many? I hope Ahmed watches cricket. Ahmed, do you watch cricket?
No, sir.
Like nothing, or you used to watch and you stopped watching? Is it something like that, or you don't watch at all?
So I just see the score
Sorry,
because everyone is getting hype on that.
can you repeat that? I didn't get it.
So it is like everyone watches and they keep posting stories on Instagram and also I just see the scores and then I leave it. I'm not
Okay, but
interested.
you know cricket. I mean, if you watch a game, you will understand it, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now anyone here who has not seen cricket match, does not understand cricket much? I guess Amalya,
Me.
okay, Sanya. Mariam also, you also don't understand cricket, Mariam?
I don't watch. I never watch.
Acha, you know onside, offside,
No, I
gully.
don't know anything.
You don't know anything. Okay. So Ahmed, what do you suggest? Will you go and teach Mariam or anyone, for example, anyone, the cricket rules and the laws of cricket, or you will just give them a pen drive with 50, 60 matches and tell them to watch it, and they will understand the pattern how it is happening. Correct?
Yes, sir. Second one.
So organic chemistry is very similar to that. You see so much of organic chemistry that in the mind you understand and start making patterns. Okay, you start making patterns when you see organic chemistry. Wherever the reaction is happening, try to join it with the previous ones. Try to join it with the previous ones. Okay, and you will get it. Amalya, do you have any cricket experience watching cricket?
Yes, sir. I've watched.
Acha, you watch cricket. Okay. So organic chemistry is
But I
just
don't
like that
fully
also.
understand.
Okay, I didn't get that. Is my volume low or is it what? No, my volume isn't full. Okay, done with this slide.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
I guess everyone is done. Okay, now this one. Now this is a very important slide. Now this slide, you will see this slide same in the next the chapter, that is haloalkane and haloarenes. We are just learning general organic chemistry. Some things, if I teach it now, I don't have to teach it again and again in the next chapters. Okay. And as you will initiate organic chemistry, it will take a bit time because you have to see, okay, this is terminology. First of all, the terminology: primary, secondary, tertiary, electrophile, nucleophile, electrophilic centers, nucleophilic centers. Then you have at reagent, substrate, then a lot of reaction types: nucleophilic substitution, nucleophilic substitution unimolecular, nucleophilic substitution bimolecular, elimination, beta elimination, gamma elimination, alpha elimination. So these terms will be coming like anything. So slowly you will start learning, and at the end of organic chemistry you will be very much expert. You will be like, okay, fine, I knew it since my childhood, but initially it is a bit tough.
Sir,
Yes, Samya.
can you explain again how CH3 is greater?
How?
CH3 is greater than CH3. The aroma.
The stability.
Yeah, the stability.
Okay, stability. Okay, fine. Others can write, and Sanya, you will tell me. I'm just telling you one thing, which is stability. You're not with us in 11th standard, and we did a very nice thing, a thought experiments for stability, how to determine stability. And for now, I will tell you about charge density. Okay. So first thing is, suppose you are standing. Okay. Okay. I'm just making. Suppose a man is standing. This is not you, obviously, and there is another man standing, or the same person standing, and there is a brick which is falling from 1 centimeter height. From 1 centimeter height, a brick falls to this person, and in the next scene, what happens? It falls from 1 meter above. Okay, from 1 meter, a brick falls. This is the scenario A. This is scenario B, and Sanya will tell me where will this person get hurt more.
The 1 centimeter person.
Sorry, in 1 centimeter above or 1 meter above? What do you
1
think? Where will
meter.
it? 1 meter, na? Okay,
Mm.
fine. And also we can say that. If I have anything which is above 1 meter, this is the ground level. This is 1 meter, and this is 1 centimeter. Okay, this is 1 meter. So I can say that this brick which is in 1 meter has higher potential energy.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, as the energy increases, the stability decreases. Why? Because see, this particular thing which is of high energy, it is going down, right? It
Yes.
is going down here, and since when it falls to ground, at the ground level, it is 0. Now when it is 0, it is more stable. It is not doing any work. If it is not doing any work, it means it is stable in its own position. So we can say that stability is inversely proportional to energy. If the energy is high, what will happen? It will become unstable. It will move here and there. Okay. Now, if energy is zero, then we will say that stability is energy is low,
Stable.
stability is high. Now, the another thing that I can say that stability is inversely proportional to if I get hurt more. Okay, just to have an intuitive idea about how to determine stability. Okay, if you are getting hurt more, then the object which is hurting is more unstable, like this 1 meter, right? It is more unstable and it is hurting you more. Correct? Right, Sanya?
Yes, sir.
Now, for example, you have a point charge. This is a point charge. You must be learning in electrostatics. This is point charge. It has a 1,000-volt charge. Okay, this is 1,000-volt. Okay, and the potential difference, that means here it is 1,000-volt between you and this particular object, and there is one whole big disk which is of, let us say, 1,000 kilometers, and this also has 1,000 volts. Okay,
Yes.
now here what has happened, the charge is distributed. Where will you get hurt more here, in A or B? The charge is distributed here, and if you touch it, you will touch only one point here, but as soon as you touch this point charge, all the 1,000-volt will be affecting you. And as you know, also we do what we do earthing. Na? In earthing, what happens? We give a copper plate, and copper plate is doing what? It is displacing the charge, which is extra charge from the home towards the earth, and we don't feel any kind of electricity. झटका नहीं लगते रहता दिन भर हम लोगों को जब हम चलते रहते हैं, right? So we don't feel it. So that means I can say that stability is inversely proportional to the charge density. Right? Charge density,
Yes.
wherever the charge density is more. So if I see this particular, I can say the charge density is just here, okay, at one point. Now what is happening? As the CH3 is present here, CH3 is giving electrons to CH2 positive, and this positive charge will decrease because it is giving electrons. Electrons are negatively charged, and it will neutralize the positive charge a bit because only one CH3, and it will decrease the positive charge. So the charge is decreasing. If the charge is decreasing, the stability will increase. Now here there are two CH3s which are giving electrons, so the charge will decrease more and the stability will increase more so. Similarly for 3 degree. Okay, got it?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay, fine. I will be introducing the things which determine the stability slowly. Okay, so now you have seen about the charge. As the charge density decreases, stability increases. Done with this one?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Okay, now this slide, last one. Okay, there is something circled by someone. S orbital is nearest to the nucleus. This is orbital. And as the S character increases, the electronegativity also increases. Just raise your hand if you're done. Ahmed is done. Amalia is done. Waiting for Fatima, Mariam, and Sania. Fatima is done. Mariam is also done. Okay, fine. Now moving on. And before I move on, I want to ask you a question. You can tell me in the chat. Okay, you can tell me answer in the chat. Okay. Now, I hope you all are. Let me first of all then write also. Okay. Okay, fine. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and this is also a carbon atom. 7 carbon atoms. I have 7 carbon atoms. Okay. You have to tell me first of all, how many of them are, which of them are sp3? sp3 carbon. Which of them are sp3 carbon atoms? You can tell that, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. Tell me which of the carbons are sp3.
1, 3, 6, 7.
Tell me 1,
1, 3,
3,
6,
6,
7.
and 7. Okay, fine. If everyone, those who agree with Ahmed, raise your hand, please. Those who agree with Ahmed, they can raise hand. Okay, I can see only Sanya is agreeing with Ahmed. Okay, Amalya, do you have anything else to add or subtract from? Or Amalya, Fatima? Amalya is saying 6 and 2. Okay. Fatima, do you need to add or subtract any number here? 1, 3, 6, 7, anything else you have to add or subtract?
Not sure.
Okay, then you can raise your hand if you agree with Ahmed. Okay. What about Mariam? Yes, Mariam. I hope I am audible. Yes, Mariam, do you have to add or subtract anything? Is Mariam not there
No,
or not?
sir.
No? Okay, fine. Are you sleeping again or what?
No, I have not sleeping.
I'm saying your name for I don't know how many times. Okay. Amalia has said 6 and 2. Okay, fine. I guess that is why I guess there is must be some students which will have problem in recognizing sp3 and sp2 carbons. Fine. sp3 and sp2 carbons. How you will see that? Okay. What numbers come to your mind, Amalia? Can I have you, please? Amalia is having a bit problem. So, Amalia, can I have you, please?
Yes, sir.
Okay, then. In sp3, how many orbitals make sp3 orbital?
3.
Okay, 3. Okay, fine. So no, not 3. There are 1s and 3p orbitals, which make there are how many total? 4 orbitals. Okay, which make what? Which make sp3. What is sp3? In which we have like this. Okay, and these are how many? These are 4 sp3 orbitals are made by 1 s orbital and 3p orbitals. Okay, first of all, the first thing is that. Now, how to identify it? The easiest thing is you see, check the number of what? Check the number of sigma bonds. sigma bonds. For example, in CH4, you write CH4 like this. There are 4. So if there are 4, I will say what? I will say this is sp3. Okay, this is sp3. For example, if I have CH3, CH3. So here also, this each carbon atom, if I say about this carbon atom has how many? 1, 2, 3, 4 bonds. 4 sigma bonds, that is 4 single bonds, right? 4 sigma bonds. That is why this will be also sp3. Okay. So as we can see here, this first carbon atom, it has this carbon which is joined to this carbon, and it has 3 implied hydrogens. This is methyl group here. Okay. This will be sorry. This will be also what? This will be also sp3 carbon atom. So either you will be having problems in recognizing that, or you will be having problem in recognizing the bond line structure. So first, let me write about hybridizations. Okay, hybridization. So if you have, for example, if you have 4 bonds, this is only for carbon, only for carbon. Okay, if you have 4 bonds, then it is sp3. If you have, this is 4 sigma bonds. If you have 3 sigma, 1 pi, then you have to ignore pi. Just see 3 sigma, then you will write sp2. If you have 2 sigma, then you will write what? sp. Okay. So if you have 4 sigma bonds, it is sp3. If you have 3 sigma bonds, it is sp2. If you have 2 sigma bonds, it is sp. This is for ammonia. And also for ammonia, for example, I am writing this structure. So this structure is what? Equivalent to CH3, CH2, C double bond O, CH3. And this structure is equivalent to what? C, which is having 3 implied hydrogens. This C is having 2 implied hydrogens. This carbon is having double bond O, no implied hydrogen. This carbon is having 3 implied hydrogens. Okay. So this is what? This is sp3. This is also having 4 bonds, sigma bonds, sp3. This is it has double bonded O. So in this double bonded O, one is pi, the other is sigma. So this is 1, 2, 3 sigma. This is sigma, and this is sigma. There are 3 sigma, hence this is sp2. This has 4 sigma bonds, hence it is sp3. Okay. 1 sigma and 1 pi in double bond. Double bond. How is double bond? Double bond. In this double bond, we have one as sigma, the other one is pi. It is made up like this. Okay, this is sigma bond. Okay, and this here, this is pi bond. Fine. And in triple bond, this is just revision of your 11th standard, triple bond. 2, 3. In this, we have 1 sigma, and there are 2 pi, 1 sigma and 2 pi. So wherever there is bond, first you will see a sigma bond, then the other will be pi bonds. Okay, this is just a revision. Now the next thing that I'm going to teach you is resonance. Okay, Amalia, did you understand the points now? Both the bond line structure, this structure, how to convert to this structure, how to see that?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and remember this 4 sigma bonds, that means sp3, 3 sigma, and always you count the bonds, first sigma, then the others are pi. There will be 1 sigma if there are 2 atoms and they are bonded. Now moving to resonance.
So what about previous question?
Which previous question? This one? This is
Yeah.
right. This is correct.
So that's it.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, this was not a question. I was trying to check where you are, all of
Okay.
you, about you all, where you are in recognizing sigma and pi bonds, nothing else. Okay, and now that will determine how I will teach the resonating structures and resonance. So we have resonance. What is resonance? If I want to define it, what is resonance? It is the delocalization of pi electrons. Delocalization of pi electrons. Delocalization of pi electrons in parallel p orbitals. In parallel p orbitals. Okay, it is a delocalization of pi electrons in parallel p orbitals. This is the one line statement that you have to remember about resonance, the phenomena of resonance. Okay, now how did this resonance come into part? Now, does anyone can access internet and let me know about one information? Can they search it out? If somebody is in their laptop,
Yes, sir.
okay. Search uh, C single bond C, CC bond length. Write this CC bond length. Just C and then dash and C bond length. And then you
1.154 picometer.
1.154.
154. 154. No, say it's just 154
154. Yes, it is 154. This, or I can say 154.
picometer.
154 picometer. Okay. Now, what about C double bond C? Can somebody tell me that?
134.
It is 134 picometer.
Triple
Now
bond
tell
will be
me.
120.
Sorry.
Triple bond will be 120 picometer.
The triple bond will be 120.
Yes, sir.
Now search for bond length in benzene. Bond length in benzene.
One 133 picometer.
130.
3.
No.
Yes, sir.
The bond length in benzene for CC bond. Search for CC bond. It will not be 133. It is near to 140 and 139. Don't be in a haste. See properly. If Mariam, you can search and tell me.
1.39.
1.39,
139.
139, right?
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
139. Fine. And the thing is, they are not differentiating. So what we expected was the benzene. We have benzene, then there will be some bonds. In benzene, we expected that, for example, this 1,6 bond should be of 154 picometers, and the C double bond C, that is 1,2, should be of 134. Fine. But what happened that we got all the bond lengths, all bond lengths in benzene is equal to how much? 139 picometers. Okay, 139 picometers. So why is that? That means this particular structure that we have drawn, it is wrong, right? Because it is not double bond or not, neither these are single bonds. Okay, not double bond, not single bond. So what they said was some structures cannot be described, cannot be completely described by one Lewis structure. Some structures, or I can say some compounds and molecules, some molecules cannot be represented by only one Lewis structure. Okay, one Lewis structure. So they need more Lewis structures, and we call the set of Lewis structures. Okay, we call what? A group of set or group of Lewis structures that completely represent a single polyatomic ion or molecule is called resonating structures. Okay, so here the phenomena of resonance came into place, and how the resonance happens, we will see this in next slide. Okay, why this resonance happens. the Wait a second. Here, the deriving force, I mean the thing which determines that the resonance should happen, is the charge density. It is the delocalization of pi electrons, and that means what? It means that we are, wait a second, I think I have to make a better, if it is further away it will be smaller. Okay, fine. Now we have what? These are benzene rings, so these are sigma bonds, and I have pi bond here, pi bond here. These are p orbitals, correct? As you can see that all of the 1 2 3 4 5 6, all of them what? All of them are having one hydrogen. So these are what? All are sp2 hybridized. That means if they are sp2 hybridized, see, there is one bond with carbon, another bond with carbon, and the another bond with hydrogen, and one p orbital is there where we have electrons, and this p orbital is having a bond here, this p orbital is having a bond here, and this p orbital is having a bond here. Now what this benzene does, and the nature is like that, we should have delocalization, and the charge density should decrease. So to decrease the charge density, as we can see that the electrons can flow from here to here also, because all the distance are same, and this flow can happen like this. Complete flow, delocalization of the pi electrons. The pi electrons, first of all, they were just localized in 3 bonds, as you can see, 1, 2, and 3. And since these are all parallel p orbitals, if it is here, it can also have what? A delocalization within these bonds. Okay, so delocalization happens like this. Let me do this with some other color. Delocalization of pi electrons happens here. So how we should represent it? We can represent it like this. One of the Lewis structure of benzene will be this, and the other Lewis structure will be like this. Okay, so and these are not the complete structure of benzene. These are not complete structure of benzene. They, as a set, represent benzene. As a set, they represent benzene, and the resonance hybrid structure is written as, what is resonance hybrid structure? If I completely mix them both, then I can say that our benzene is something like this, with the delocalization of pi electron. This is what? This is resonance hybrid structure. This is resonance hybrid structure. And these are what? These are resonating structure. Resonating structure. Okay. Now you can copy this, and we will see different conditions of resonating structures. Copy this fast. I will just list out the conditions how resonance happens. Then we will learn the resonating structures how to draw in the next class. It is the delocalization of pi electrons. Remember that point. The driving force is that, first of all, we had electron density situated in just 3 of the bonds. Now we have the electron density moving all over the 6 carbon atoms. Okay, all over the 6 carbon atoms and the 6 bonds. Just raise your hand if you're done.
So can you explain the last point?
The last point is, first of all, we have set the idea. We understand that there are some molecules which if we want to represent that molecule in a Lewis structure, we cannot completely represent it by only one Lewis structure. It needs more than one Lewis structure. So the set or the group of Lewis structures that determines and represents all the reactivity and complete picture of that molecule is known as resonating structure. For example, benzene is here. This structure which is in this slide, it does not represent benzene completely. Okay, because as we can see, there are double bonds and single bonds. We know by experimental evidence that it is not completely double, not completely single bonds. It is partial double bond character. Okay, so we need another structure for benzene also. So this structure and the another structure, they completely as a set represent the benzene as a whole in the whole picture, and that set is known as resonating structures. As we will see in the next slide, now we have drawn the resonating structure for benzene. Okay, also the second point, you may it is just like the what I can say, the LBW rule of cricket, leg before wicket. I mean, Ahmed and the others who understand the terminology, they will understand. At the first point, you are like, okay, fine, there is one rule, okay. But as you go on with the chapter, you will understand more and more about this resonating structures, okay. The only thing that you have to determine and keep in mind now is this first point, that some molecules cannot be represented by one Lewis structures. And it's if catch or bold say out nahi hoga. I mean, you will not get out only by catch and bold. You can also get by LBW when there is nothing happening in the wicket also. Okay, so this first point is you have to remember more concisely. One structure, okay, one Lewis structure cannot represent everything about a molecule. Okay, done everyone?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Amalya and Fatima. I'm waiting for Amalya, Fatima, and Mariam. Ahmed and Sania are done. Mariam done. Okay, everyone is done. Yes, Ahmed. As you can see here, now. See these two resonating structures, they show from here. I can say if I see this structure, I say, okay, fine, it is single bond. Then I see this structure, I say, oh, this is double bond also. So it is in between somewhere. Okay, now this as a set, it represents benzene. And this is resonance hybrid structure. It is like mixture of these two, and I have made the mixture of these two. It is represented like this. Either it has dotted double bonds, or it can be either represented like this also. There's nothing wrong in that. Like this also. This is also benzene. Okay, either dotted or the complete. Both are used for representation.
So done.
Done. I guess everyone should be done.
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. So I'm just writing one slide that is condition for resonance. You will copy that slide and we will learn about that in the next class. Okay, conditions for resonance. Okay, number one is just write it now. Okay, just write it now. Even though it makes sense or not make sense, it is pi sigma to positive. It is pi sigma positive, pi sigma lone pair or negatives. Third is pi sigma free radical. This is free radical, okay? Homolytic cleavage, free radical. Then we have pi sigma pi. And the fifth one, we have fifth one we will learn in the next thing. I mean, it is not very, these four are the main ones that you have to learn. Pi sigma positive charge, pi sigma lone pair or negative charge. Then you have pi sigma free radical and pi sigma pi. Just write the slide, then we are done with this class. Okay,
So done.
done. Okay. Did you get any assignment for GOC inductive effects?
No, sir.
No, no. Okay, fine. I mean, I'm holding those assignments just because, first of all, you read this today, that's it. Okay. And you read this now only. You take 15 minutes, okay, and read it. Next, in the next class, when you come, that is Thursday, just before 15 minutes, you take your notebook and read whatever I have taught. For now, organic chemistry needs just half an hour. Okay. Half an hour on the days in which you have class. Okay. So the next Thursday, 15 minutes before, you will be revising the older portion. Okay. And after 15 minutes after the class, you will be recollecting, and it will be just built in your brain. If you read this now only for 15 minutes, it will be rebuilt. Okay. So half an hour on the same day. That is it. And on the others day, from Sunday to Thursday, you have to do the solutions, 20 questions. Okay. Cool. Everyone fine?